All right, everybody, welcome back to the Lions Pit podcast. I am your host, Nick Gomez. With me today is 8-time world champion arm wrestler, Sarah Backman. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for being here and everything and inviting me to this.
Yeah, appreciate you coming out and welcome to the studio. I always love to see people's responses or how they like when they first see the studio. Because when you come in from the outside, it looks like a regular old like warehouse. But then when you come back here, you're like, holy cow, like this is great.
No, my mind was blown when I walked in here. This looks super legit and it's a vibe.
Yeah. Oh, it's a big vibe. Yeah. So the reactions are always like awesome to see. Especially like your mannerisms remind me a lot of my aunt from Colombia, just like so animated and excited. So like to see your reaction come in, then you're like, oh my God, this is great. I was like, oh, that's so like sweet.
Because I pay attention to detail and energy and like we discussed vibes. And yeah, this is on point.
Yeah.
This is how a proper setup would be for a podcast.
Yeah.
So I'm super honored to be here and to just get this experience.
Yeah, well, super honored to have you. So you're 8-time world champion, and that it really is 4 on the left arm and 4 on the right arm?
Yes.
That is so crazy. Is that common to be like ambidextrous like that?
No, most people have more with one over the other.
Yeah.
But I just always told myself that I'd rather win double than single. Like, why not? So I pushed myself equally.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Because that's twice the training.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Again, I wanted to ask you that if that was common because I never even thought about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just figured, the only arm wrestling exposure I obviously like growing up, like kids will always arm wrestle with their buddies and stuff like that. And then they have the Sylvester Stallone movie, Over the Top. But again, I've never really thought about like diving into the world and be like, so to hear that you were essentially ambidextrous, it's like, holy cow, like that is amazing.
Yeah, and the cool thing is that if one arm is out and injured, you still have the other.
Yeah.
So we have a unique setup that way because you don't have to necessarily take time off. You can still keep going no matter what's going on with you because most people have 2 arms.
Right. Most people.
Most people, yeah.
Yeah.
I know a couple that only have 1, so
yeah. Same. Yeah.
Just grateful, right?
I was training Muay Thai with a guy that only had 1 arm.
Yeah.
And he would put a glove on his other arm, and I'm like, holy cow, that is so wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, very interesting. Now with your off arm, because you speak to getting injured, and you've had how many surgeries?
Yeah, so I've torn my shoulders 3 times in the last 5 years.
And before 5 years ago, had you had any shoulder issues?
No.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long have you been competing?
Well, I've been in the sport for 20 years this year.
Okay.
But I had a little break in 2014 to 2019. I was still training, but not competing on a serious level.
Okay.
So I had a little break there. But since 2019, it's been go until last year where I tore my shoulder for the 3rd time.
Oh,
yeah.
Gosh, that's so nasty.
Yeah.
Are you holding anything with your off arm? Like
Yes.
like a peg?
Yes. So our equipment is an arm wrestling table, and that's mainly to stay safe, but that's also the equipment we used to use. And we hold a peg with our non-arm wrestling arm at the time, and we have an elbow pad and a pin pad. And it was actually my last tear was me holding the peg, generating so much force with that arm that I tore this shoulder, meanwhile arm wrestling with the right arm. Yeah, it was weird. And it seemed like a divine message. That's why I'm like taking time to chill this time around and not going back right away, because it really felt like the most unimaginable thing to happen. Like, how do you tear your non-arm wrestling arm, right? It had happened to one other person that I know, and he's top level guys to like one of the top levels to this day. So it has happened, but to me, it's just crazy.
Like a freak accident.
Freak accident.
Yeah. Did you know that you tore it while you're going? Did you stop? Did you finish?
Yeah, so I felt during the match that something tore. And if you've ever torn a tendon, it sounds like fabric pull apart.
Ugh.
Yeah, so it's like a stitching, just like that. So I heard and felt it and kept doing the match. I lost the match, and I was in so much pain for a week. I couldn't even like get in and out of my shirt. I couldn't lift my arm, which that told me something was severely wrong, right? With my other tears, the pain was not that unbearable, but it was also like a clean tear, 100% off the bone. This last one, but there's less pain when that happens, believe it or not. But this last one, it was so unbearable, the pain. like tears would just stream down because like uncontrollably, like I could not even control it. And it turned out it was partially tear. So it was holding on out of the 5 fibers. 1 fiber held on.
Oh God.
Yeah. So,
but it would have been less painful had that fiber not held on. It
yeah.
just, oh man. So brutal.
Yeah.
So is that have you had 2 on the right and 1 on the left?
2 on the left, 1 on the right.
Okay. And what are you dominant hand? Like when you're writing with the pencil, what hand are you writing with?
Well, I'm writing with my right arm.
Okay.
But always more coordinated and strong with my left, believe it or not.
Interesting.
Yeah, something with the brain, and that's common actually. Most people are stronger with their non-dominating arm in arm wrestling.
Oh wow!
In my experience, when I talk to people and stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And so, before we get like too deep into the podcast, where are you from?
I'm from Sweden.
You're from Sweden. Okay, just so the people at home know where your accent's from. And you said your dad was from Finland.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he moved to Sweden early.
Okay.
And everything. But yeah, I'm 50% Swedish, 50% Finnish.
Very nice. I did my Ancestry.com or 23andMe, whichever one it is.
Yeah.
And my first biggest was Spanish from Spain. And then my second biggest was like Germanic, Eastern European.
Yeah.
And I was telling you before the show that my mom is very fair-skinned.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's such I trained a lady from Sweden. I don't think I've ever worked with any fighters from Sweden. But there was Alexander Gustafsson.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a big-time fighter.
Yeah.
I trained a guy who fought him twice, actually. So I trained John Jones, who fought Alexander Gustafsson twice. And then I'm trying to think of other big Swedish fighters. I know there's 1 or 2 out there that I can't picture off the top of my head.
Yeah. I know Alexander.
Do you know him personally?
Well, I met him a couple times back in the day.
Yeah.
But I don't know him like that.
Oh, well, you've met him. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, he seemed like a nice guy.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. He's a savage fighter. I know the fight with John Jones, the first time they fought, when that fight went into the Hall of Fame. I don't know if Alexander went into the Hall of Fame himself, but that fight went into the Hall of Fame. It was epic. What made you want to get into arm wrestling? You said you've been doing it for 20 years, so you were...
20 years. I was 14.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was growing up overweight and not into sport and bullied and stayed to myself up till 14, where there was an arm wrestling competition in the cafeteria in my high school. And I beat everyone. It was supposed to be a fun thing, but I beat everyone. And it was unexpected. I always knew I was strong, mainly because I was just bigger than everyone and all of that. But... yeah, it came as a surprise, and it was the first time up to that point in my life I felt good at something.
Yeah.
And people, instead of now, like, used to bullying me, now they respected me, and I was treated differently. And that gave me inspiration that, I'm good at something. I wanted to do more of that. So my recreation leader that hosted the tournament, he brought me to local arm wrestling team in Stockholm. And I remember the day, it was a Sunday, November 19, 2006.
Wow.
My life changed forever. It was like life up to that point and life after.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so I walked into this wrestling club because they worked out with wrestling and arm wrestling. And I remember just seeing a bunch of beautiful blonde women, strong muscles, climbing the ropes, doing pull-ups, and I didn't even know things like that existed.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it was so cool because there was, at the time, she's a legend of the sport now, but a woman named Heidi, she was 8-time world champion at the time, and she had just come out with a documentary about her life, and she lived up in north part of Sweden in a village where everybody was related to each other, aunts, grandma, brothers, siblings, everybody lived at the same place, and they all trained arm wrestling, and they were all world champions, and they just, and there was a whole movie about this that was big in Sweden, and I watched this movie, and I was like, I want that. I want to be the best in the world in arm wrestling. So I just set that vision right then and there. And then when I started to train arm wrestling, I lost weight, I got fit, and I started competing, and I won. I just kept winning. And even as a 15-year-old, I became the adult champion of Sweden.
Whoa.
Yeah. So like I just knew that this is my
your
shit.
path.
Yeah, this is my thing. And that woman in the movie, she became a friend, and we traveled the world together, and eventually I beat her on the left arm.
On the left arm, not on the right arm.
Not on the right arm. So we were like co-champs of Sweden like it was cool
Yeah, and
how she
how
was
it-
my idol, and now like we were doing it together.
Yeah. How old was she?
She's 12 years older than me.
So she was 12 years older and you beat
Yeah.
her? Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So it just proved to me that anything is possible if you just have that passion and act on it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, there's a you know, a famous quote, something along the lines of like, there's a fine line between like passion and like insanity, and you just have to like go all
Yeah.
in on that.
Yeah. And exactly, it's like you have a fire inside of you, and it's your job to nurture it. You can either neglect it and go a different path, but you know that you're going to be held back. Like in my example, like I even dropped out of school because I remember going to school, and every day I would feel bad because I knew that doing this is not going to make me a world champion in arm wrestling. So that was me not tending to my fire inside. So I dropped out of school and just moved to Bulgaria to pursue arm wrestling
Wow.
full time. And I mean, it took me. I'm so glad I acted on that fire, on my intuition, on the obsession, because that's literally why I'm here today in the
Yeah.
United States, and it has brought me so many amazing opportunities. And
Right. What do you think you'd be doing had you not nurtured that fire?
yeah, so in Sweden, everybody pretty much live the same life. It's just to be expected. Everybody work from 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, live for the weekends, live for 4 weeks of vacation in the summer, and it's the same life. And you're supposed to have education, family, dog, picket fence, you know?
Yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah, and nothing wrong with that, but I
Sure.
always knew early on that there's more to life than this. And that was before I even started traveling. But yeah, dropping out of school and just acting on my intuition just proved to me that there's like the world is a big, beautiful place, and we're meant to live
Yeah.
and not to hold ourselves down. So, but had I not acted on that, I would probably do some 9 to 5 job in Sweden in an office like most people, you know,
Yeah.
and just lived in that program,
That bubble.
in the bubble. Yeah.
It's funny you say that because most of my 20s, I felt like I was doing that. Like I was married and trying to, you know, have the white picket fence and the dog and everything. And I always tell people it feels like I was playing a role that was written for somebody else.
Yeah.
Like it just never felt right. It never felt like I felt like I was, I mean, I don't know if you would get this reference, but like growing up, you have, you know, your like blocks that you put in like certain shapes, and it's how you learn shapes as a kid. It just felt like I was trying to put like a round, like a square peg in a round hole. I was like, it just never felt right when I was living that life. And then as soon as I stepped out of that box and started pursuing my passions and kind of just seeing like what life had to offer, because what I was doing before just was not fulfilling. Again, it does present so many opportunities, and you start to see like, oh, we're not meant to be living this cookie cutter, everyone doing the same thing for the same amount of time, and then you retire at a certain age and then you die.
Yeah.
Because like studies show like a lot of people, a majority of people, especially men, after they retire, like they don't have a long life after they retire because they lose purpose.
Yeah.
And so I think pursuing that purpose, pursuing and nurturing that fire is something that whether it's being an active competitor or then translates into coaching or whatever the case may be, it continues to nurture that fire, and it's so rewarding.
Yeah. No, it really is. It's like exactly what you're explaining. We are so deeply programmed and have all of these layers from judgment from others, but also ourselves, thinking that we need to do something one way, or what we're scared of what people are going to think, or we might fail or whatever. But that's the resistance that we need to overcome by doing it. Like that's literally the portal.
Yeah.
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 So
And like I said, so many people are afraid to fail. And what a big thing is, especially with, I find like the constant exposure to social media. Like when we were growing up, we didn't see what everybody was doing all the time.
yeah.
And so if someone failed, like more, you know, we didn't really know about it unless they failed like at a school event or whatever the case may be. But people are afraid to look dumb.
Yeah.
People are afraid to like genuinely pursue something with their whole heart and fail at it and be perceived as someone that failed or like what was that idiot doing? Because we see every moment of everybody's life nowadays. And I think there's pros and cons to that, just like anything else. Like social media has opened up a lot of avenues for people to have successful careers and be seen. But also, I feel like some people are just scared to live their lives.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where's the coolest place you've traveled to for arm wrestling?
Oh, yeah. I've been to a lot of cool places, but one of my favorite spots was Japan.
Oh,
Yeah, I did an arm wrestling game show there for for a couple of
what?
years. Yeah.
Okay,
So
for a
I
couple of years.
yeah, so I used to arm wrestle on in a TV show a bunch of Japanese celebrities. And one of them was a sumo wrestler, for example, and it was so much fun. But I just love the Japanese culture
Yeah.
and like how respectful they are, and it's so neat, and the food is so good, and all their little, how they decorate and the buildings.
Hmm.
That was really really cool. Yeah, I've also gone to places like Russia, Kazakhstan. I've been to Brazil.
Oh,
Like,
nice.
yeah, it's arm wrestling has you get to travel the world if you commit to arm wrestling because it's not that big of a sport. It's a small community though, so
Yeah.
everybody know each other. You can literally just go to any country and be like, I'm here, and within a couple miles you will find an arm wrestler with a table that will offer you a place to stay. And yeah, so that's really really cool with the
That's
sport.
awesome. Is arm wrestling big in Sweden? Like
Yeah.
you said your school had an arm wrestling program?
So arm wrestling is considered a sport in Sweden, not so much here, but there's a whole like federation, and you can get a whole. We're not sponsored by the government like other countries, like Russia and Turkey. Like they're actually paid athletes just representing their countries. Sweden is not like that, which is kind of sad.
Yeah.
But they take a lot of pride and honor in representing Sweden, like to represent Sweden at the World Championship. It's even if you don't get anything for it, it comes with a pride.
Sure.
Yeah. So, but yeah, at any given like national championships, I mean, I haven't lived in Sweden now for 15 years, but back in the day, there would be like 800 to 1,000 athletes already back then. And almost 50% was girls or women.
Whoa.
Yeah, which is amazing, right? Because
Yeah.
here in America, it's like pulling teeth, getting girls to arm wrestling.
Yeah.
It's just how people are born and bred and raised. It's a different culture. Like we're raised to be independent Vikings
Yeah.
in Sweden. And it's something to be proud of, and it's cool to be strong.
Right.
To whereas here it's just given that the man is a little bit
More the provider.
more the provider,
Yeah.
and it's just automatic. You girls are in that role. They're scared to look stupid if they train, or they don't want to get too muscly or whatever. But
Yeah, they don't want to be perceived as masculine.
right.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
It is interesting. I think you're starting to see it a little more so in women's wrestling. Women's wrestling is starting to become a little bit more like on the main scene. Women's sports in general, I actually like watching women's sports. I'm not the biggest fan of the WNBA. I think there's a huge skill divide there, whereas in some other men's and women's sports, not so much. Like you look at the women's hockey team that just won gold, and like their goalie was wildly impressive for the entire tournament. And then you look at women's MMA. I actually like watching women's MMA. The first UFC fighter I ever trained was a female from Brazil, and she was the #1 ranked contender in the world at the time.
Wow.
Yeah, so women, and I even spent 2 years coaching softball back in New Mexico. So again, like I really enjoy watching women's sports. So for me, and I tend to also date more athletic females.
Sure.
So for me, like I like seeing it. I like seeing the growth because I know the confidence that it provides, the stability, the independence, like all of those things that like I would see desirable in a partner. They tend to learn in sports. Yeah.
That's very true.
What's the biggest female sport in Sweden? Because the way you just said, like the people that show up, and then half of them or more being female.
Yeah. You're saying like sports in general. Like, so I don't watch sports. I'm not into sports, honestly. Like I have no interest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I love to follow arm wrestling,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been into watching like weightlifting when it comes in the Olympics.
Sure.
But I would not sit and spend time watching sports. So I really don't know, honestly.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's funny. I find I get that feedback a lot from fighters.
Yeah.
And I think it's because you come from such a kind of like cut and dry sport. You win, you lose, like it's your physical prowess versus another person's physical prowess. Whereas you look at like the NBA or other sports, and it's like there's so many other things, and like like the amount of men flopping in soccer, like you barely get contacted and you're falling over and you act like you tore your ACL. I can't stand that.
Yeah.
And I know fighters tend to be the same way. So I know a lot of fighters that don't watch like mainstream sports. They'll watch fighting,
Yeah.
but that's blood, bone, like everything right there.
Right.
Whereas in fighting, you very rarely see an opportunity to get an official involved.
Yeah.
Like you can fake an eye poke or like someone getting kicked to the groin or something. But even that usually is not fake. That's usually a real thing. But like I said, in basketball or soccer for men, the women's soccer players tend to be pretty tough.
Yeah.
But the men's soccer players, I mean, you sneeze and they fall over. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it's kind of
part of the culture now.
I guess, unfortunately.
Yeah. No, it's just I've been so busy tending to myself. I don't feel like I have even time to sit and watch other sports.
Well, that's good. That's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
I have too much time, I guess. But it's also part of my job.
Yeah,
like I train a lot
true.
of athletes, so like it is. Maybe it's an excuse because I do like watching most sports, but it is also like gives me insight to what these athletes are going through.
Exactly. Like there's a purpose behind there. And talking to you before we started recording, you're super active.
Yeah.
Tell me one thing you don't do.
Basketball.
Or arm wrestling.
Yeah, or arm wrestling. But we talked about this at the gym though.
Yeah.
I've seen so many like horrifying videos.
I know.
Of people just snapping their humerus
It's
in
common, unfortunately. So that's why it's so important to take it slow and trust the process and just do one thing at a time, because most people are strong. They know they're strong. They might have a background in something, but arm wrestling comes with a lot of technique. An arm wrestler gets strong in the technique. So like just because you're a strong bench presser, for example, or you're strong in bicep curl, that does not equal good in arm wrestling.
Sure.
So that's the little obstacle there that most people just neglect, and then they go full force, and all it takes is 8 pounds of pressure in the wrong angle and the bone can literally snap.
God.
Yeah, I've probably seen hundreds of arm breaks. Like,
have you ever done that to somebody?
No, I have never arm wrestled anyone that broke their arm, and I have never broken my arm, but I have seen close to 100, I would say.
Oh God, that's so brutal. Oddly enough, I've seen it in baseball. I've seen it happen, and that's very, very rare. Someone snapping their humerus from throwing a baseball.
No.
Yeah, pitchers. I've seen 2 pitchers in person, and including those 2, I've known a total of 3 pitchers that have done it.
I can't
It's just the torque.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Damn.
And it's so gross. It sounds like, I mean, you've seen it, so you've heard it. I always tell people, because I'd be playing when it's happened. It sounds like someone hitting a tennis ball with a tennis racket. It's like a weird, like hollow thud.
But exactly. And I will never forget, I went to a European Championship one time, and there was probably 5,000 people in the building and a lot of shattered noise from the audience and whatnot. And one guy broke his arm on stage, and although all of that shatter and noise from all the people, you could still hear it. It just shoots through.
It's a different sound.
I know. And the worst part for me is like that sound, when I hear it, it's not so bad anymore, but for years, like if I heard that and experienced that, it would stay with me for months.
I bet.
Like I would wake up and just like it would be with me, you know? And yeah.
I mean, it's terrifying.
It really is.
And again, like you said, that's what do you think is the most common injury in arm wrestling?
Probably a tear,
Okay.
like a tendon tear.
Like what you've experienced?
What I have experienced. But believe it or not so many shoulder injuries among the people in arm wrestling. I know maybe a handful, maybe 5-6 people. Most people tear bicep though, or something in their forearm.
Okay.
Seems to be common.
Not so much pec.
Pec has happened too. Yeah. One guy even tore his hamstring arm wrestling.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's something I would do. Like you're like, hey, how'd you tear? I tore my groin
Yeah.
arm wrestling. You
Yeah.
know, like oh god.
But it just goes to show that even if it's arm wrestling, the whole body is involved.
Engaged, yeah. And kind of to go to what you were speaking about technique and strength coming from technique. My first certification was USA weightlifting, so Olympic lifting.
Yeah.
And I will never forget there was a guy in class that I probably outweighed by 40 or 50 pounds. But his technique was so clean. He was way stronger than anyone. And you could say that, I mean, you could say that probably about several sports, but like golf is a perfect example where I guarantee you I could probably out deadlift anyone in the PGA, but that doesn't mean I'm going to hit the ball further. There's so much technique that goes into like pure strength or how you generate power in your sport. So much of that's driven from technique.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that like it's not like too many like fractured arms, but like you said, it's common, but it's a lot of tears.
But exactly. And like someone that has been serving a lot of time in arm wrestling, it's all about the tendons, right? And I'm sure it's the same for being a fighter, like, but it's tendon over time. Like a tendon takes way longer than a muscle to get stronger. So what we want, the goal is to have a tendon like a seat belt, you know, and that like the guys, you can tell the men in the sport, the best ones are in their 50s.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Just tempered like they're...
It's like, you know, that old man strength, but it's legit. It's real. It's happening right now. Like the best guys in the world are in their late 40s, 50s, and they just keep getting stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's like you said, over time. It's tension over time is building that strength, especially through the tendons, because that's what I think about. Because my elbows aren't the greatest from like baseball. So even when I'm actively training Muay Thai a lot, just that punching and like pronating will tend to like bother my elbows from baseball. And so when another thing, like, I thought about like snapping my arm, like arm wrestling, but I'm like, God, that just seems like it hurt my tendons.
Yeah, I probably would in the beginning.
Yeah,
they say the first year as an arm wrestler is brutal, especially if you start later in life. Like I started as a kid, so like I just grew with it.
Yeah.
But someone that would come in to the sport in their 30s or 40s, they deal with pretty much pain the first year, and a lot of people drop out because they can't handle it.
Yeah.
But if you just stick through it and work with it, you can have a lot of fun in the sport.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems like you've had a lot of fun in the sport.
The reward is waiting on the other side if you just push through.
Yeah. Yeah, just push through. Easier said than done.
Yeah, it's true.
So how long have you been in the States?
I've been in the States since 2013. So what's that? 13 years?
Okay, wow.
Yeah, I came here because I was offered a contract with WWE.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and I did not know what WWE was at the time. I was 20 years old when I discovered what it was, because that's not a thing in Swedish culture.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was offered that, and I thought, cool opportunity, let's go. Cool to move to America and try something new. And at that time, I had won the 8 world titles, so there was nothing else to win at the time. So I was like, I'm ready. But it was not my thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was rough, and I almost felt like I don't think we can look back and be like, oh, that was a mistake or whatever. Because like, look at my life now, I'm like so grateful, and everything happened the way it was supposed to. But I remember feeling like I was not happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was not good, but I managed. There was a couple of years of trying to find my way back to myself, because I kind of fell off the path, being shaken. There was a big culture shock and all that, and I let go of arm wrestling. That was actually one of the requirements to start WWE.
Oh, no way.
They actually just said you have to stop arm wrestling if you want to be part of this. So that was part of the agreement. And then I just couldn't find my way back until years later.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is crazy. Also crazy that was part of the agreement.
I know, because they have a lot of arm wrestling in the show.
Yeah.
On like a yearly basis. I see arm wrestling tables, and the wrestlers are actually arm wrestling, but they don't know what they're doing. It's yeah. So like, why wouldn't you play to my strength? I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say. So when the WWE had reached out, was it WWE at that time? Because when I was growing up, it was WWF.
Yeah.
And I loved it. When I was a little kid, I loved it until I found out it was scripted.
Yeah.
But I mean, those were more than any other sport.
Yeah.
Like those were my heroes growing up, like
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels and the Undertaker and like those kind of guys. But when they had reached out to you, so you look at guys like, do you know who Kurt Angle is?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was obviously an Olympic gold medalist wrestler. And they're like, oh, this is kind of like a character we can bring into the sport. Did they reach out to you because of your arm wrestling background?
Well, how it happened to me, it was presented to me, right? So I just went to Gold's Gym in Venice, the famous one.
Yeah, the Mecca.
Yeah, and the first day, a guy came up to me and was like, hey, there's a WWE edition going on. Would you like to go? I was like, sure. I didn't know what it is. He's like, okay, homework tonight, just YouTube WWE this match and watch. And I remember doing that. I was like, it looks cringe to me for someone that had never experienced it before.
Sure,
to me, it looked cringe, but I was like, I was just taking it for what it was. And my audition sucked. First of all, I barely spoke English at the time. So you have a cameraman following you. It's like, speak to the camera. And I would be like, I'm Sarah from Sweden. I could not speak at all. It was so funny. And like all the moves up to that point, I only had been doing arm wrestling for 7 years. You know, this move. I was not an athlete as far as moving,
Sure.
using my body in that sense. So I did not do well in my audition, but somehow I got the gig. They saw something.
Yeah.
That
I mean,
they,
the look, you're physically like a presence for sure.
Yeah, they saw something that the potential, and but yeah, it just didn't work out. It was again me trying to follow my heart and my intuition, and every day I just got smaller and smaller and smaller, and just felt my light just go away. So I asked for my release after 7 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy that happened in Venice.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the Gold's Gym in
Yeah.
Venice Beach.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. The amount of things that have happened there, I mean, that's
Yeah.
wild.
I know.
Okay, I asked how long you'd been in the States because your English is really good.
Yeah, 13 years, but also in Sweden, we learn English from the age of 5.
Okay.
It's just a mandatory subject in school.
Yeah, I mean, it was mandatory for me to learn Spanish
Yeah.
in high school, and I didn't learn anything.
But that's true, though. That's you're right about that, because even though I learned basic words, it wasn't until I started traveling and exposing myself to different cultures where I had to communicate that I learned.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense because the one time I've been to Colombia, I mean, I was there for a week and I felt like I learned more Spanish than, 2 years of high
Yeah.
school. And I think I even took it for 2 years in college, or 2 semesters in college. But yeah, it's being, immersed in the culture and just being surrounded by it.
Yeah.
It's almost, you have to.
Yeah.
If you want to order a cup of coffee or
Yeah.
make a phone call or anything, you
Yeah.
have to learn the language.
Exactly. Yeah. It's funny though, because even though it's this long and I consider myself fluent in English, every day almost I ask whoever I'm talking to whatever word they said means.
Yeah.
So I'm still learning
Well, good.
and building my vocabulary. So, but I like it.
Yeah.
It's just stimulating. It's fun.
Yeah. So even using the word like stimulating, or earlier you said you have to go at it with intention. It's like, that's good English.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not just saying like, yeah, you have to go all out.
Yeah.
That's kind of like a shortcut of way of saying like you have to do it with intention. So your
Yeah.
English is good. Now, you were talking earlier about, and I believe this was before we were recording, about a client that speaks 10 languages.
Yeah.
How many do you speak?
Well, 2, English
Okay.
and Swedish, but there was a time I spoke several.
Yeah.
I spoke Russian pretty good, and I spoke Bulgarian pretty good because I lived in Bulgaria for 1 year when I
You
was
didn't pick
younger.
up any Japanese?
I did not pick up Japanese. No, that's hard. It's such a beautiful language, though. Sounds like they're singing in a way.
Very,
it's
like, elegant.
Yeah, it's very elegant and
Yeah.
smooth. Yeah,
Yeah. I know one language.
one language, English.
Yeah, just English. Yep. That's it.
A little
And I'm
bit
not
of
very good
Spanish.
at it.
But you understand Spanish, though.
Yeah, muy poquito.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know very little bit of Spanish. Enough to get around. Like I said, I can understand more than I can speak. But going back to Colombia, like I need to learn more. I really wanted to learn more before my grandma passed away, and she gave me the chance. She lived to 97, so it's not like she didn't give me an opportunity to learn it. But yeah, unfortunately, she passed before I learned a lot of
Yeah.
Spanish. But also the benefit of me going to Colombia, I have family down there.
Yeah.
And most of them speak English. So it's really good. It's almost like walking around with the translator.
Yeah.
Like they're talking to me, and then if I have questions, I can be like, wait, what does that mean? Or what did you just say? Or what do you call that?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's an easier way to learn. And again, being there in the culture and like the music and the food and the menus, like everything you're reading
Yeah.
and writing and listening to is that language.
How long are you going to be gone for?
I want to go for 10 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's not like enough time. If it was a couple of weeks, you can kind of settle there
Yeah.
and like be in the mindset that, all right, I'm here now. But 10 days is like not enough maybe
No.
to pick up. Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe I'll meet a woman down there that'll make me want to stay.
Yeah.
I'm going to some. Have you ever heard of EDC?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to EDC Colombia.
Oh, dope.
Yeah, I
Good
know.
for you.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
It's not really like that's not my genre of music or like my thing.
Yeah.
I don't really go to like festivals, but my sisters wanted to go and they bought me a ticket and it's my birthday. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna go live it up.
Yes. Go live your best life. Like even if you're not into the music, it's just designed to bring your frequency up. So whether you want it or not, you are going
It's
to
happening.
you're gonna vibe high. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love dancing and stuff. It's,
Yeah.
it's not that I don't hear the music and be like, ugh, and like turn it off.
No.
I just don't know it.
Sure.
Yeah. So I'm definitely going to go dance my ass off.
Yeah. Let's
and
go.
have a great
That's
time.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be. And my oldest sister's actually never been to Colombia. Myself and my little sister have. My little sister's been a couple of times. She's married to a Colombian soccer player, actually. Yeah, so maybe I'll meet my future wife
Yeah.
at EDC Colombia.
Let's hope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fingers crossed. So what are you training for now?
Well, now
So I see you in the
just
gym every day.
Yeah, I do love the gym. It's the highlight of my day. Currently, I'm dealing with tendonitis in my shoulder, in my left shoulder that I just had surgery on 10 months ago. So that has taken me back a little bit. So I'm working around it. I can't push my upper body as hard. I can do one side, but it's been a lot of legs. I'm trying to do cardio and still like stay active, support my recovery in this instead of just like giving up, because that's not an option. So currently I'm not training for anything. I was supposed to participate in the farm games, but because of my tendonitis, I can't, because that's strongman movements, a lot of shoulder, sandbags and whatnot. So I called out of that. And right now I'm just tending to my inflammation and maintaining my shape.
Yeah. So you're not doing high rocks?
No,
Just kidding.
that was on the agenda. I had a ticket, but I called out last minute because, again, first of all, I don't like the run. I don't like the high pace. I like to do it with a friend, and we do it on our own like time or whatever.
Your own pace.
Yeah, but also high rocks was a lot of shoulder movements. It's the kettlebell, it's the wall balls, so it didn't seem right to push through that, knowing that
Even the walking lunge, you have to support the weight up here.
Exactly. Yeah. So, I'm just tending to that right now. It's been 5 weeks. I thought it was re-torn, so I'm just thanking God that it was not, that it's just inflammation. But the tendon is brittle, so just chilling.
Yeah. Have you seen Jen at our PT?
No, but it was funny
phenomenal.
you ask or say that, because it was brought to my attention that I should go see her yesterday. So maybe I should look into that.
She's a wizard. Yeah, a lot of our like pro athletes that come through, like she works.
Yeah, I saw Eric Hinman walk by and go and see her yesterday, and that's why this is now in my field. So, all right, I might look into it.
It's a universe speaking to you.
Yeah, it
You're
is.
hearing it, you're like, oh,
yeah,
maybe I should
seriously.
Go see Jen.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's, I've worked with a lot of docs, with athletes I've worked with, like you're in communication with their PTs and what they're going through and what treatment they might be getting. And she's the best I've ever worked with, like hands down.
So, like, have you overcome injuries with her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I go to her for everything.
Oh, okay. Wow.
She's really good at like finding the root. Like you might be, as I'm sure you might be feeling pain somewhere, but it might be coming from a totally different area. And she's good at like putting that puzzle together.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. I will definitely look into it then.
Yeah, she's great. Like I said, myself, several clients, like I'm a big fan. I really like dry needling.
Yeah,
Have you
I
done
do
it?
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it too. It feels like truth. Like it feels like it makes sense. Like the fascia, and you just like poking a hole in it, so it gives room. Like it just makes sense.
Yeah, it creates room for growth for fresh blood.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't like looking at it.
Yeah.
She's put like I messed up my thumb, and she like put some like in the knuckle. This past fight camp, I had messed up my toe, and she had like put some like in the knuckle under the toe, and I was like, oh god, that looks awful.
That's like annoying places to hurt yourself, because you're like walking on it, or like even your thumb. Like that's annoying.
Yeah.
How did you even do that?
The thumb was jujitsu.
Oh yeah.
I did. Do you know who Tim Kennedy is?
No.
He was big in the UFC. Had a military career before that. Had a really good book. But he hosts a course called Sheepdog, and it's a self-defense course, and it's phenomenal. I recommend everybody do it.
Oh, cool.
Men, women, any age, like you should do it. But it's a lot of like hand-to-hand grappling, so you learn like some very good but low-level jujitsu, very applicable for situations. But yeah, I had messed up my thumb doing that, and this thumb I've had 2 surgeries on from baseball. I caught a foul ball funny, and it tore that ligament off the bone. So thumb injuries I'm not new to, unfortunately. My thumbs are your shoulders.
Yeah. Yeah.
On a much smaller level.
But are you doing any peptides to heal?
I just started doing peptides, BPC and TB500.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah, it's so wild. And the things I've noticed the most are like the nagging things that I've kind of just lived with, like neck and shoulder issues, like from Muay Thai or Jiu-Jitsu, that I kind of just chalked up to being part of life. I'm like, well, I'm just going to wake up every morning with a sore neck and like cranky shoulders. But on the peptides, I'm like, holy cow, like I feel pretty good.
Yeah. I love peptides. I've been a user for 7 years.
Okay.
And I discovered it after my first shoulder tear back in 2019, because I was looking at alternative ways to get myself back to elite level in my sport. And that's when peptides were presented to me, and I made a full recovery in 8 months. And every time it happened, or tendonitis or shoulder tears or surgery, I just made it back in such short amount of time because the peptides. And peptides are like not a magic fix. You can't solely rely on it.
Sure.
But you're already doing everything you can to support yourself in the healing process. That's just strengthening your own signal to have a better of a recovery.
Yeah.
You're not adding something that's not already in the body. You're strengthening the signal. So that's why I love peptides so much. It's a natural approach to what's already happening inside of you.
Right. I agree. I think peptides are phenomenal. You're seeing some interesting things happen, like with our government and peptides right now. So hopefully they become more and more readily available because sure, it's an out-of-pocket expense, but you know, the whatever you pay for your peptides, $150, $300, whatever, is so much cheaper than a medical bill.
But exactly. And it's preventative and it's you investing in yourself because you are the most important person in your life.
Yeah.
Like without you, then what?
Right.
So you have to tend to yourself. It's your responsibility to make sure you're good.
Yeah.
And peptides are a wonderful tool, in my opinion.
I agree. I agree 100%. Where were you in 2019 that you, because when I was growing up, I was in New Mexico at 2019 and I'd never even heard of peptides.
Yeah.
So where were you in 2019 and how did it first
I was in
come up?
Florida. I was in Florida 13 years before, or 12 years before I came to Austin just 6 months ago. So that was my main life in the U.S. since coming from Sweden, because that's also where the Performance Center for WWE is, in Florida.
In Florida? Oh, you know, I think I knew that.
Yeah, it's in Orlando, but I eventually moved to the Tampa area. That's where I spent 12 years.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, I got in contact with a hormonal doctor in Miami, though, and this was during COVID. So it was all virtual, but I got the peptide sent to me. And at the time, like, I was super skeptical because I thought it was steroids, basically, because it's like something you inject into your body.
Injectable,
but it's just me being uneducated. So once I learned and did my research and understanding what it was, it took that taboo away in a way. But there's been a lot of, I've got a lot of negative feedback for being so open about peptides.
That's wild.
Yeah, because
from Americans, or do you happen to notice like a different?
Oh yeah, especially like from Sweden, because Sweden takes such pride in that they're clean athletes, and peptides some of them are considered an illegal substance, banned substance, in the WADA protocol and whatnot. So I get it, but also like if I'm not competing with you guys and I'm just doing this to support my own healing and recovery, what's the problem?
Yeah.
You know, so. And I also have a lot of people wishing that they had this available to them in their countries. So it's a lot of messages like that too. But my job is to educate people about peptides. This has been my business for years now.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm just educating people what it is and how you can safely use them and where you can source them, the right ones for you and things like that.
Yeah.
So.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It was me coming here. I came here in 2020, and I would say I first heard about peptides in 2021 because I'm sure you've heard of Ways to Well.
Yeah.
That was early on in the Ways to Well. Like I met Brigham at the gym.
Yeah.
Like he was coming to On It. He was part of Aubrey Marcus's group called Fit for Service. And so he was coming in, met him there a handful of times. We went and had dinner a couple of times, and then he went on Rogan and just blew up. Yeah. But I'm so glad that alternative medicine is becoming more and more of a thing. Because like I was saying, first of all, I think pharmaceuticals are super corrupt. I think our medical system in general is very questionable. Like recently, I mean, I'm sure you know all the benefits of creatine. And there's more and more studies coming out of creatine every day. I had a client of mine, he's from Ireland. He plays Gaelic football. And he went to his doctor, I think kind of like a regular checkup, and he just mentioned that he took creatine. And I think he had said a couple of things about like, he's like, yeah, I like it, you know, for more than just like, you know, muscle, there's cognitive function, bone density, stuff like that. And his doctor was an older lady, and she just kind of laughed it off. And she's like, no, that's all bro science. You don't need to be taking that. I'm like, this is a medical professional, you know, like this is a woman who's giving you health advice that most people will literally live and die by.
Yeah.
And she's misinformed.
Yeah.
And who knows how long she's been a doctor.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
And it's funny you say that because the misinformed is the right word. And it's just how society is programming us. And if your only source of information is the news or those media outlets, yes, like they want you to live in this bubble and rely on whatever they say. If they say jump, you jump. If they tell you to do the vaccine, you take the vaccine. Like there's no thinking for yourself. but they think it's okay to have processed food and seed oils and smoke and do alcohol because that's normalized.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just how people have been programmed.
Programmed
Programmed.
is a perfect word.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I since 2020, because I found myself kind of getting sucked into it during COVID, during the shutdown in New Mexico. I watch so little TV.
Yeah.
I watch sports. I'll watch sports and I'll watch movies.
Yeah.
But I can't tell you the last time I sat down and intentionally watched the news.
Good
Like,
for
oh,
you.
the news is on at 7. I need to go see what's
Yeah.
going on. Like, I can't, because again, I was becoming a victim. I was deleting Facebook
Yeah.
friends because they were posting stuff I didn't agree with. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what the hell am I doing? I went to
Yeah.
high school with this kid. Why am I deleting him?
Yeah.
Like, just because he has a different opinion.
Yeah.
And it hit me one day. Like, I was waking up with anxiety
Yeah.
of like, oh, what am I going to read today? And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my, why am I reading anything?
Yeah.
Like, go outside. It's a beautiful day.
It's a beautiful day.
Yeah. So again, I don't really watch the news.
Good for you.
Yeah, and fortunately for you, look at guys like Rogan, and he tends to get a lot of differing opinions. Like, I can't remember the two guys. It was Lane Norton and then another kind of nutritionist guy. And they have very different opinions. Like, one guy was very keto, and Lane Norton's like calories in, calories out, and he had them on to debate. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, let me hear, your cited studies and the things you're talking about, and then I can form my own opinion.
Yeah.
And so you're starting to see people get their news from alternative sources, just like their health is coming from alternative sources now. And I think it's beneficial.
Yeah.
But you can also fall victim and just kind of get in your own echo chamber to where people
True.
are just repeating the same nonsense to you.
True.
So again, I'm glad that more health stuff is coming out. Whether it's Lane Norton or Gary Brecka or Brigham Bueller, like whoever, there's more and more beneficial, like natural health things coming out, not the processed foods, not, whatever the case may be. I don't, smoking on a vape cartridge because you don't want to smoke cigarettes.
Yeah.
Like, there's things out there that can make an actual difference. And I think we're getting more and more of it.
Yeah. And it's also about, like, where does this information comes from? If the person that makes a statement, if they look and behave and have set up their life and reality in a way that is like, all right, I see that you're clearly on a good path, like things are going good, you look good, you're healthy, like if that gives instant authority, right?
Yeah.
It's like an overweight doctor saying, oh, you should do this and this and this. Okay, but
you're
why
not.
don't you do that? So
Yeah.
like, it depends. Like, that's how I source my information too. Like, I look at what they're doing, what they have accomplished,
Yeah.
and if they say something that feels like truth, I will see and try if it works, and trial and error.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the same can be said for strength coaches or personal trainers. You do see some strength coaches that have like the strongman build. They're just big, thick dudes. Like, you'll see some of those guys like in a collegiate weight room working with a football team. But you so rarely see a personal trainer that just is like a pudgy, soft-bodied person that like, they might have a great education, but they're not really like applying it themselves.
Yeah.
Like, I've known, like I said, more so like in the football realm, like collegiate strength trainers, the guys are just big. They have that like strongman build, but they're not jacked. It's
Yeah.
not Eric Leha, just, 6-pack chiseled,
Yeah.
not James. But it's guys that are just strong as shit. He's going to go deadlift 700 pounds and bench press 500 pounds. But yeah, to go to what you're saying, you don't go to an unhealthy person for your health advice.
Right. Yeah. No, I think that's just common sense, And I understand if there's someone that is now a coach that lived 30 years as an athlete and now they're not as ripped or athletic, like, of course, age, but they
Sure.
still have a wealth of knowledge and a coaching ability and
the experience.
Experience, and they know what they're talking about and they know what to do because they have that history to back up with it. So, I mean, it differs from case to case.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. And like you said, I think it's all about taking what you want and then kind of formulating your own opinion. Yeah, I've tried several peptides now. BPC and TB500 I really like, but I also really like CJC
Yes.
1295.
Yeah.
That's a really good peptide that I've had good results with as well. And kind of the same thing. Like, I just wake up feeling better, like more recovered.
Yeah.
And then you're able to put in more effort into the weight room or your sport or whatever the case may be. But yeah, I'm a big fan.
Yeah, me too. I love the GHKCU, which is, I think everybody should be on, honestly, because it's like producing more of your own collagen and elastin. So you stay youthful longer inside and out. So you
Yeah.
have better skin, better hair. Like my hair grows like crazy.
Yeah, your hair is super long.
No, I'm like, normal would be like, what, 1 centimeter, which is half an inch a month. But swear it's probably almost double that
Really?
in 1 year. Yeah, it's been crazy.
Your skin
since
looks
I
great.
started. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll have to get more on this
Yeah,
peptide because I'm not
yeah.
familiar with that one. I'm so new to the peptide game.
Yeah.
But I'm hearing just all these amazing things.
No, it's a whole world out there for sure, and there's so many different ones too. Like I have been in the game for like 7 years, but I discovered a new one yesterday that I heard for the first time. I don't remember the name right now, but it's to get better sleep, which is like, yeah, why
Who couldn't use better sleep?
Why not?
Yeah.
You know, you hit the REM sleep faster
Okay.
and more deep. So I'll look into that one next.
Yeah, that's the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, the ones I've used, I don't love injecting myself, but you get over it. But I gotta imagine that's the most effective way for most peptides. Yeah,
It really is, because they're formulated to, I mean, they're not formulated to withstand the acid in the stomach, and they just evaporate if you do the nasal spray. Some of them can be formulated in a way, but you're still not gonna get the best bang for your buck. I think that comes in handy, like capsules and things like that can come in handy if you're traveling a lot, because you can't bring a refrigerated item, and you know, you never know what laws that you're going into the country, like whatever. So it comes in handy. But if you're home and you know that now you're doing a cycle, like just inject yourself. And it's if you really think about it too, diabetics, they have to inject themselves, and they inject themselves with insulin. And insulin is actually a peptide. So once I learned that too, it's like, that it normalizes it a little bit more, because it's like, it's just how you deliver something that's going to help you.
Right. So why not? Yeah, I find it interesting that in sport, more often than not, they are on like a banned substance list. Like, why wouldn't you want your athletes to recover better and come back better?
Yeah.
And that was like, so the, like, I don't want to say the golden era of baseball, but like for me as a kid growing up, the summer of 1998 was like just a huge explosion in the sport, but it was a lot of steroids. And as a kid, like I didn't know that. I was 11 years old, but I just knew that like one of my favorite baseball players, Sammy Sosa from the Chicago Cubs, him and a guy, Mark McGwire, they had like this race to like break the home run record, and they were both just juiced to the gills. And it does create an unfair advantage if other people aren't doing it. But you look at, so like on Sammy Sosa's side, I think he was a good player before, and that made him a great player. Mark McGwire was a big dude before, and he claimed that he was using it for recovery. So it's like one of those things where I'm like, it's so tough to like, where do you draw the line? Because you want your star athletes playing. So when it comes to peptides, which aren't nearly as invasive, or not invasive, but like as intense as steroids.
Exactly. Like that's the thing with peptides, and the biggest takeaway, it's not going to shut down or supersede your own ability. It's only going to help you within your own physiology. Versus steroids is actually like, if you take test as a man or even a woman or whatever, like it will shut down your own production to give you that synthetic version of it,
Right.
which can't be healthy,
Right?
Yeah. But but with the peptide, it's like, it's just strengthening the signal that's already there.
Yeah.
Because as we age or go through illness and sickness and stress, just natural levels within us decline.
Sure.
So that's just gonna pick it back up, so the body functions the way it's supposed to function.
Yeah.
You're helping yourself, basically.
Yeah, and I've had to have that conversation with like clients before, that like, because obviously I'm not going to say any names, but like it when you're training, it's also like therapy.
Yeah.
Like they're telling you everything that's going on in their day. And so I've had clients to me express, like wondering if they have low T, or like fear of it, or already, dealing with it. And it's one of those things I'm like, you got to realize everything you just said, the stress and hormones, and also the lower quality of food. Like we're set back in that dynamic of like, we've seen studies of like, 25-year-old male now has the testosterone of like a 75-year-old from like 1930. And it's like, yeah, a 35-year-old was or 1935 or whatever, they were eating like steak and they weren't Pop-Tarts and
Exactly.
McDonald's and like that
Exactly.
crap. So again, there's nothing wrong with needing tests, but if it's changing your physiological output for sport, like obviously now you're like, okay, well that's different. But if you're just a normal person that has low T, like by all means, like when I'm 60 or whatever, and I've already had my kids, and like I'm you know what, why not look jacked?
Yeah, but I feel like there are tools available, and if you go the right way, you go with like there's no under the table like a black market option. You're actually going you get a decent protocol, and you know exactly the dosing that's required for you. If you have low test as a male, like that's crucial for you to even just feel good. Your day-to-day life is going to not be good if your test is low. So if there are tools available that can just bring you up so you don't drown anymore, like I think it's wonderful that we have these
Absolutely.
options. Yeah. So yeah, it's just being uneducated. I think people are just having so much opinions about things that they don't know.
I mean, that's perfectly said, because I have a friend of mine. She's younger. She's like 24. So she has a friend that's still like in school. She's going to become a doctor. And so I told her, I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to start taking peptides. And she's like, well, I don't know. I heard they're bad. Like my friend who's going to be a doctor said they're not good for you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, of course she's going to say that, because her whole industry is built on keeping people healthy enough.
Yeah.
And so peptides are undercutting her essentially income. I'm like, who wrote her school books? Like, who's
Yeah.
teaching her?
Yep.
Like, how well versed is she on peptides for her to have that opinion that they're bad? And then that becomes the doctor who's now telling you creatine's bro science. And so again, that's like you said, it's just people that are uneducated.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because I mean, I've had great experience on peptides. Like so far, I've really
Same.
enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And I'm very curious to see like new peptides that come out, and also growing my education on it as well. Because I would love to have better skin and longer hair. Why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. Stay younger for longer. You
Yes.
know? Like maximize this experience of living. Do everything you can to set yourself up for success. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also that kind of goes to say, well, like you're saying, like I'm super active. It's like, yeah, why not? Like,
Yeah.
let's see what this body can do. Because I know I can't dunk a basketball.
Yeah.
So let me see what else I can do.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can hit a golf ball 300 yards. Yeah.
But understanding too that your life is your responsibility.
Absolutely.
So like, I love that you go out travel and you have fun with sports and you're training and you're doing this, and like, that's what life is all about. We don't want to die and look back and be like, I didn't do anything. You know?
Yeah. I lived a very unremarkable life. Yeah.
Yeah. And it comes back to acting on the passions like we discussed earlier. It's like every time you get a nudge, that's literally your higher self telling you that act on this.
Yeah.
Act on this. Do it. There's
Go
an
do
opportunity.
this.
Yeah,
It'll
do
be
it.
worth it.
Like your only job right now is to feel good and take the next immediate step.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So just follow that and your life will be pretty epic.
Yeah. And I'll take peptides to help me do that longer.
See? Exactly. You get it.
Yeah. Again, it's been, I mean, honestly, probably like 2 or 3 years ago, I was like, I don't know if I want to play baseball anymore. Like my body just feels like shit. I'm loving it again. Like again, I'm not waking up with shoulder pain, kind of like you're talking about with your shoulder. I've never had anything that bad, but I've had pretty significant shoulder issues, and to the point where like brushing my teeth hurts, like putting a shirt on hurts, and now it's like, oh man, I'm playing, I'm feeling good, I'm waking up feeling good, my sleep is better. So yeah, I'm very curious to learn more about peptides.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, I'm excited for you.
Yeah, thanks. So what's next for you?
So next for me is I have a bunch of traveling coming up, which is I'm super excited. But due to my shoulder and everything, like I said, I pulled out of farm games. I'm also being casted for something right now that I may or may not get, but I can't speak on it too much.
Yeah.
But that's like, if I get it, it's going to be a big deal because I'll be gone for an amount of time. So I'm kind of getting my ducks in order to prepare for that.
Okay.
But if it doesn't happen, I have my business and I'm launching a platform, I think tomorrow, actually.
Oh, wow, let's go.
Yeah, it's literally everything that we've talked about, like my whole life in one place. Educating my audience about how to eat, how to train, what tools are available as far as peptides, and just what you can do to maximize your life, to make it better for yourself, to reach the best version of you. So that's what I'm working on. That's my business, what I'm doing now, not competing full-time in arm wrestling anymore, or at the time. I'm building my business and just trying to live my best life every single day.
That's awesome. And help other people live their best lives.
Exactly.
Because again, it's so rewarding.
It is.
It's not easy, but it's very rewarding.
It really is. And like the best, like I love when my clients send me a message and it can just be, made a better choice in something that they were eating that day, or they did not have a drink when they went out the other day. Like it's small, everything we do adds up. Like small tweaks here and there can make such an impact later on.
Absolutely.
It's just important to hold the vision. Like remember where you're going, especially in times where you feel a bit weaker and tired and fatigued and you want to go back to your old pattern, and that's self-sabotage.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like the weak, comforting voice saying like, come back.
Exactly.
It's like, I can't go back to that.
Exactly. And it's so uncomfortable to not give in. And like in my case, like it was always, my appetite. Like I used to be a big girl and I lost a lot of weight. And so food was a comfort. It was also a reward system. So like it went both ways. So just not acting on that and just staying true and like, what do I really need now? I just need to regulate. And there's a bunch of other things that you can do to regulate. You can go out in the sun, or you can, go for a walk or work out or do breath work. There's a bunch of different things and tools that are way healthier for you that you just need to regulate. Because when you feel some type of unpleasant emotion or sensation, that's just you being unregulated. So you just need to, again, it's your responsibility to bring your back to center. So.
Yeah. I'm not a big like candy guy, but there's the Snickers commercial. It's not, you're not you when you're hungry. Like you need to regulate.
Yeah. It really is like that, because if you do give in on that, whether it's, doom scrolling or porn addiction or alcohol or food, whatever your distraction is, that's the portal. Like that's what you just have to push through. And it comes back to like, don't do that. Like you're stronger than this. You're better than this. And like every time you hold yourself and don't give in, you're just gonna come out a stronger version of yourself. Yeah. And you keep building like that. It's really cool. Yeah.
And I think you use the perfect word for that, distraction. Because it is a distraction from your higher self.
Yeah.
Because think about the people that, again, and we're all even us trying to be as healthy as we can. Like I'll doom scroll. I'll splurge on food from time to time. And then I think about it, I'm like, would the person I'm trying to be happy with that decision? Would my higher self be like accepting of that decision? And it's those, there's a saying that says a comfort zone is a beautiful thing, but nothing can grow there.
No.
That's something that's stuck with me for a few years now, because I got into fighting at 29 years old. And so like super late into the game. And so of course it was uncomfortable. Like you're saying, if you get into arm wrestling late in the game, there's pain that you literally, like literal pain, not just like psychological, but like literal pain you have to deal through or deal with. But working through that, there's a reward on the other side, instead of just reverting back to what's comfortable. Like, you know what? Training was hard. I'm gonna go back to what's comfortable. And there's days when or especially early on, when you're just getting your ass kicked. And like I have a client, he does jujitsu, and he's early, and he's maybe like a year or two in, and he's like, man, there's just days where I'm like, I think it's not for me. He's like, do you ever feel like that? I was like, absolutely. Yeah. I've been training Muay Thai for 8 years now. And there are still days where I'm like, fuck, I suck at this. You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, there's days. So if you fight through that and you make it a habit, but also make it, or have it align with like your purpose, it's just, there's nothing better.
Right. And awareness is key too. Like you said, like we're not machines, right? Like we're not here to just be on a rigid plan or else. Like there's still times where I also eat a little too much food, or I spend a little too much time on my phone, but at least I'm aware. Yeah. The self-awareness that, it happened, and then having the tools to put yourself back on the path instead of just blaming something externally. Like you're always in control. Like at any given moment, you can always just be like, all right, the past is the past, can do nothing about it. What can I do in this very moment to make it better for myself? Right. Like you always have that option. And That's why you're walking around at 38 years old and looking like this and super accomplished, and you figured it out. You're on the path. So yeah, awareness is key.
Yeah, awareness is key, and again, you speak very well, because you're right. Like the past is the past. You can't change that, but you can see like, okay, where do I want to go, and what's the step I can take today, and what's the step I can take tomorrow, and then how can I build on that? And it's a bunch of micro decisions that lead to a macro result,
right?
And it doesn't come overnight.
No.
You've trained for years. I've trained for years. Education doesn't come overnight. People are studying for years to become who they are. And so few people just like instantly like, oh, I'm good at this.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah.
But even those people, I still to this day, the most talented baseball player I've ever played with ended up digging fence post holes, because it was given to him.
Yeah.
But like, I know, my best friend, he was in baseball, it's kind of a loving thing to be called a dirtbag, because you're just you always leave with a dirty uniform. Like you're playing hard, you're sweating, you're getting dirty. And I have a buddy who very much embodies that, but he wasn't like naturally gifted. He was naturally gifted with speed. He was fast as shit. But other than that, like he worked hard for everything he had, and he still continues to do that. And he's a successful father and everything now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like I said, there are instances where things come naturally, but those tend to fizzle out.
Yeah.
And the people that like work really hard for their craft or their passion, that's where they make a living or make a purpose or make an impact.
Yeah, because you hold the vision even in times where it's hard. That's the difference.
That's so hard to do.
Yeah, it is. But that's why, like, if it was easy, everybody would do it, right? That's always what I come back to. Is if it was easy, truly, everybody would walk around ripped and the best in the world at something and super rich, right? But it's not easy, and that's what makes, at least for me, it gives me motivation to push through, because I don't want to be like everybody else. I want to reach my full potential.
Yeah.
And how do I do that? Yeah, I have to not stay in the comfortable. I have to push through the uncomfortable, because the reward waits on the other side.
Yeah, the pain of payment.
Yeah.
Like, you have to go through that. Yeah, that's well said. I don't want to be like everybody else. I want to. Carving a path is, again, it's the path of least resistance, right? It sucks. If it was easy, everyone would do it, but the ones that have done it have committed the time and the effort. Yeah. So that's what your business is. You're helping people kind of.
Yeah, little what we just talked about. Just meeting them where they're at. Clients that come to me, they see that something needs to change. They feel stuck, they feel like they've fallen off, they feel flat, and together we're figuring out how they can elevate. They tell me what they want to accomplish, and it's not just fitness and nutrition, although that's two of the most important pillars, nutrition being one of them, because nutrition is the foundation to everything.
Your gut health controls so much. Even like you said, your function, your brain.
Exactly. Like if you're eating processed food, like the body's not going to respond if there's no nutrition. So that's why my core message is you eat things from the earth. Things that are here, provided from the ground, that's growing in the trees, animals, things that the body recognizes and can utilize. Because we're not meant to be here sick and in pain, and we're meant to thrive. So there's some pillars that you can't get away from. So that's the foundation. But once we have mastered that, most of my clients have weight to lose, because that's my background. That's my own transformation story, how I can walk someone through that. But it's also just elevating your mindset and thinking how they move forward instead of staying stuck or even regressing. It's always, there's always a path towards a better version of you. And I'm navigating that with my clients.
That's awesome. I think to kind of take that holistic approach of everything, like the food, the nutrition, the mentality. I'm sure you address recovery and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
There's so many things within that people are lacking.
Yeah.
And like I said, nutrition's huge.
Yeah.
Nutrition's huge.
Exactly. Especially I have people that say, but I already know how to eat healthy. And then I tell them, okay, tell me what you eat in a day. And it's alarming, because again, it comes back to being misinformed. They think that they're eating healthy. And I get it. I used to think that certain things, I would drink Coke Zero for 25 years, several cans a day. Like it was my addiction. Like
Yeah.
I loved Coke Zero, thinking that, oh, it's 0 calories.
It's healthy.
It's not healthy, but it's like, it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But every time you're giving your body something that's processed or chemical, or, you know, there's something in there that's the body doesn't recognize, it literally, your vibration, when we talk about intuition, your signal, like it's going to go down. You can't get away from it. And now you're going to operate from this lower frequency, and that's going to show up in how you respond to people, how you talk, how you think,
How you perform.
how you perform, how you recover. So trying to just go with clean ingredients from the earth, and like staying away from, even if it's a protein bar, there's a lot of things added there to make the protein bar that's going to cloud and put the veil on you. So you want to eat eggs or a chicken or, you know, something that's from the earth. So your body is like, all right, we can work with this.
I recognize this.
I recognize this, right? Yeah. So yeah, nutrition, number one.
Yeah, because all that other stuff without nutrition, it's nice, but it will be so less effective. Sleep, workouts, everything.
I know, yeah. So just educating. We're both doing our part. Educating.
Trying.
Yeah. And living it too, embodying it. We're not telling people do this and doing something else. We're actually walking around as an example, which is key.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
I tend to get that feedback a lot of like, man, it's so cool to see you doing that.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to Muay Thai. But yeah, anything like, you know, I tell people, yeah, I still play in a competitive baseball league, like a wood bat, hard ball. It's not, you know, slow pitch softball where guys are getting hammered drunk.
Yeah.
It's an actual baseball league.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, I think, you know, walking that walk and just being an example of following that higher frequency is it needs to be out there more. Luckily, we live in a city like Austin where there are a lot of people out there like doing that. They're doing the damn thing.
Yeah.
But I go back to New Mexico and like I'm like, why are you guys just settling?
Yeah.
Yeah. No one's living on a high frequency. Don't get me wrong, there are people out there.
Sure.
But the percentage is way lower in a place like that. It's kind of like you were talking about in Sweden. Like people grow up, they get married young, they go to school or whatever. They take over the family business and they're just doing that. And there's nothing wrong with that per se, but that's not the life that was cut out for me. Like I don't want to be on my deathbed and look back and be like, well, I, you know, ran my parents' company for a long time and I married an okay woman. Yeah. You know, like, no, I don't want that.
Yeah.
Because I almost did it. I almost did it. My ex-wife, there's nothing wrong with her.
Sure.
Just wasn't the woman for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
She's actually remarried, but good for her.
Yeah. No, I get it. I've been married twice before.
Oh, wow. So, yeah, you get it.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. So this time around, just like we discussed, it's finding out my mission here and reaching my full potential and not being held back, whether it's from a person or society, just trying to get in tune with what I want and what I'm here to do. And
yeah. I think you're just looking for excuses to flick your arms. You're like, whether it's here or maybe over there.
But like, I have not trained my upper body in weeks, it feels like. So this
That's
is
crazy.
nothing.
I'm envious. Have you ever thought about bodybuilding? Because your physique's pretty wild.
I have thought about it, but I used to date a professional bodybuilder years ago, and that turned me off completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, he competed in Mr. Olympia and like the highest level, and I think
not the life for you.
Yeah, this is no way to live, and what are they doing it for? And they're not healthy.
Right,
and,
it's not healthy.
Yeah, it's not healthy.
They usually have like the sleep apnea masks because
exactly,
so
that's
heavy.
what he did.
Yeah.
And it's just, there's no quality of life. You're spending, it's now. So, and I don't want to be judged by someone else with my body. Like I want to train and live the way I love the body I live in now. And I don't want someone else to tell me if it's
literally
not good enough.
judging you.
Yeah, judging me.
Yeah, you're standing in front of judges on your physique.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough. I never really thought about that.
Yeah, no, so no.
All right, good to know. I see you around the gym. I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool. I think that's a good place to call it. I think we got some good info out there. Great to know you on a broader level now. Why don't you look in the camera, tell people where to find you, your business, and what you got going on? Yes.
So you can find me on Instagram, Sarah J. Backman, and you can find me on Facebook, same thing, or sarahbackman.com. And I'm launching the Discipline and Devotion Collective like tomorrow.
That's exciting.
Yeah, which is self-led courses, how to reach the best version of you. But I also have one-on-one VIP coaching, so where I dive into your world and figure your life out to reach the best version of you.
Nice. I love that. That's exciting. I think we need more of that. Yeah, it's gonna be good. Well, again, I appreciate you coming on. Thank you so much for being in here.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was great. We'll have to let James know.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Well, thanks for tuning in to the Lions Pit podcast. Again, I am your host, Nick Gomez. With me today, 8-time world champion arm wrestler, Sarah Backman. Shout out to Set. This is the new nicotine alternative pouch. Go to getset.co. Again, nicotine alternative pouch. If you're feeling that crash or the highs and lows of nicotine, give this a shot. And then shout out to Ghost Muay Thai. There's a new Muay Thai brand on the market, really changing the aesthetic of the game and coming out with some really cool products. And they sponsor Coalition Muay Thai as well, which is a new Muay Thai promotion. So give them a shout. Check them out. Use code THEPIT at checkout for a discount. And we will see you guys next time.